This video is sponsored by Cool Stuff Inc. If you're looking for cards in the US, look no further as you can use the promo code MTGMudsta to get you 5% off anything on the site. Or if you're in Canada like me, you can use the same promo code at Multizone to get 10% off your orders of singles. If cards aren't what you're looking for, Original Magic Art has playmats, tokens, and sweet art that you can use that same promo code to help you get 5% off your order there. And if you just want to help out the channel, you can always consider becoming a patron for as little as $1 a month and join the generic Goblin Gang. Alexei Briclot's Kickstarter campaign has been successfully funded and is still going strong. Alexei was responsible for creating the art of Chandra, Liliana, Jace, Ajani, and Garruk back in 2007 in the new Lorwyn setting as a first wave of Planeswalkers. Since then, Planeswalkers have become an enormous part of the game and a staple in each new set. By backing this Kickstarter, you get access to premium black stitched edging playmats that are exclusive to this offer only, and it features extended artwork of those Planeswalkers you love. So if you're interested, please be sure to use my affiliate link down below. Today's game features those lovable scamps the Punt Squad, but I should warn you, Scott is playing his unsleeved HP Morophon deck, so this is a trigger warning for those of you who can't stand the sight of some played cards. And I'm playing my Mistform Ultimus deck, keeping 2 islands, Seafloor Oracle, Galecaster Colossus, Tribute Mage, Unesh Cryoswing Sovereign, and a Rogue's Passage. As I mentioned, Scott is playing his Morophon deck, keeping a Shapesharer, Vizier of the Menagerie, Mirror Entity, Hibernation Sliver, Woodland Changeling, Steam Vents, and Frontier Bivouac. Adam is rocking his Magda deck, keeping Blood Moon, Steel Hellkite, 3 Mountains, and 2 Seven Dwarves. Omar is playing Toralf, keeping Nykthos Shrine to Nyx, Mountain, Wayfarer's Bauble, Armillary Sphere, Worn Power Stone, Price of Progress, and Neheb the Eternal. Omar wins the die roll and starts us off. He plays a Mountain and casts a Wayfarer's Bauble. I play an island. Scott plays a Frontier Bivouac, which comes in tapped, and he passes. Adam just plays a Mountain. Omar plays another Mountain, and cracks the Bauble to go and find a Mountain, which comes into play tapped. I just play an island. Scott shocks in a Steam Vents, and casts a Woodland Changeling. Adam plays a Mountain, and then casts his commander, Magda, Brazen Outlaw. Omar has no Nykthos Shrine to Nyx for his land for turn, and pays 3 for a Worn Power Stone. I play a Rogue's Passage, and then tap 3 for a Tribute Mage, going to find a Sapphire Medallion and putting it to hand. Scott casts a Shapesharer in his main phase, and then moves to combat, swinging the Changeling at Omar for 2. Adam plays a Mountain for turn, and casts Jeska's Will. He has his commander out so he gets both modes, and he targets me with 6 cards in hand to gain 6 red, and exiles his top 3. He uses some of that mana for a Maskwood Nexus, and then uses some of the rest to cast a 7 Dwarves. He then swings Magda at Omar, and creates a treasure token, and Omar then takes 2 commander damage, and Adam passes. Omar casts and cracks the Armillary Sphere, going to find 2 basics to put to hand. He plays a land for turn, and then puts 1 into the X of by force to take out the Maskwood Nexus. My turn has me just playing an island, and casting Sapphire Medallion, and passing. Scott's missing a land drop still, and goes to combat, swinging at Omar with the Shapesharer, who just takes the hit. For Adam's turn, he casts another 7 Dwarves, and moves to combat, swinging 5 points of damage at Omar, making 2 treasure tokens, and then passing turn. Omar casts a Treasonous Ogre in his main phase, and pays 3 life into it to make 1 red mana. He then casts the creature side of his commander, Toralf, God of Fury. I play an island and cast Unesh Cryoswing Sovereign. I pick Scott with the trigger as it enters the battlefield, and Scott picks the piles to make Swarmyard be by itself, and Path of Ancestry, Darksteel Citadel, and Diviner's Wand being the other. I take the pile of 3. Scott draws and plays a Terramorphic Expanse. He cracks it to go and find a swamp, which comes into play tapped and passes. Adam plays a mountain for turn and moves to combat, swinging both 7 dwarves at Omar. Omar blocks and takes one out with Toralf, but still takes 3, while Adam continues to make more treasures. Omar untaps and casts Torbrand, Thane of Red Fell, and then activates Nykthos to make 6 red mana. He overloads Amizium Mortars, which would deal 6 to each creature he doesn't control. In response, Adam sacrifices 5 treasures and tutors for an artifact or dragon, and goes into his library to find Spine of Ishsa, which as it enters, takes out Toralf. The Mortars then resolve, and takes out most of Omar's opponent's boards, and he then goes to combat. He swings the Treasonous Ogre at me, which triggers Dethrone and puts a +1/+1 counter onto it, and I take the hit for 3, which is actually 5 thanks to Torbrand being out. My turn is quite quick, as I just cast Mistform Ultimus, and pass. Scott plays a Yavimaya, Cradle of Growth, and then taps out for Vizier of the Menagerie, and passes to Adam. Adam has a Valakut which comes in tapped, and then taps 4 mana to recast Magda. Omar casts Neheb the Eternal, and moves to combat. He swings the Ogre at Adam this time, triggering Dethrone again, and Torbrand at me. This has Adam taking a total of 6, and I take 4. This has Omar making 10 red mana in his second main phase, and uses 6 of it to recast his commander, Toralf. I untap and pay 5 to cast Inundate, returning all non-blue creatures to their owner's hands. I then swing Mistform at Omar for 3, and he takes the hit. Scott's turn has him drawing, recasting the Vizier of the Menagerie, and passing to Adam. Adam plays a Wooded Foothills, and then recasts Magda, and passes to Omar. Omar's turn has him just recasting Toralf, and passing to me. I cast a Trophy Mage in my main phase, and go into my library to find a 3-costing artifact. I reveal Mirage Mirror, and put it to hand. Moving to combat, Mistform goes at Adam, who takes the hit for 3, and once that's done, I pass through my phases and discard down to hand size. Scott plays a mountain for turn, and pays 3 mana for a Venomous Changeling. He then moves to combat and hits me for 3 with the Vizier. Adam plays a Bloodstained Mire, and then pays 3 to cast Aggravated Assault. Omar recasts Treasonous Ogre, and then activates it 5 times. In response, Adam cracks both fetch lands to find 2 mountains to the field. This triggers Valakut twice, and with each one, Adam puts the trigger onto Toralf to take him out. Omar then recasts Neheb the Eternal, and uses his remaining lands to cast Torbrand. At the end of turn, I delve away some cards to help cast Dig Through Time, looking at my top 7 and keeping the best 2. For my turn, I cast my copy of Maskwood Nexus, and then follow up with a Galecaster Sliver. With my flying commander, I go at Omar for 5, who can't block, and he takes the hit. Scott plays a Grand Colosseum for his land for turn, and then pays 2 to cast a Goblin Recruiter off the top of his library. With his trigger, he goes to find some air quotes goblins, and finds a Chameleon Colossus, Taurian Mauler, Realm Walker, Masked Vandal, and Changeling Outcast, putting them all on top of his library in the order that he picks. He then casts the Masked Vandal off the top, exiling a creature card from his graveyard as it comes in, and exiles my Maskwood Nexus. He then casts the Changeling Outcast off the top, and passes to Adam. Adam's turn is pretty straightforward, as he plays a Steel Hellkite, and passes to Omar. Omar swings the team at me for 14, and I can't block it, and take the full hit. This has Omar making 14 red mana with Neheb in his post-combat main phase, and he recasts Toralf, and then casts Star of Extinction. I'm ready with a Swan Song to try and counter it, and Omar responds to this by casting Increasing Vengeance. He copies his Star of Extinction, which resolves before my counter does. This has all creatures taking 20 damage, which any excess damage Omar is able to redirect to other targets, and deals more than enough to take out all of his opponents, and wins the game. Game review time. So having watched this game and now edited it, it's clear to me that I missed a couple things that could have been promoted. First, 3 out of the 4 commanders are monocolored, and beyond that, 3 of the commanders also started with the letter M. These facts have no significance on the game other than the fact that I think they're kinda cool, and I still love playing my Mistform Ultimus deck. I'm actually building a separate Orvar deck that'll lean heavily into his ability, so I'll be able to get the best of both worlds. I loved how interactive Adam's Magda deck was. Despite the fact that it's heavily either Dragon or Dwarf Tribal, he had so many sweet lines of play in this game, like keeping his fetch lands up to be able to deal with Toralf later on, and using the treasures to find an answer for Toralf at the same time. Basically what I'm saying is that Toralf is always a problem, and Omar's deck is built heavily around using his commander's ability to basically deal excess damage from non-creature spells onto people's faces. Commanders like Toralf being introduced into Commander make me happy because it allows cards like Star of Extinction, which saw some standard play but not a ton of EDH play, suddenly become very good in very specific decks. If you're still watching at this point, it means you've been able to stomach watching Scott play his Morophon deck. It's unsleeved and heavily played at best. I guess it's one way to build a cheap deck, and it is pretty cool to see a tribal deck, although it can turn your stomach a little bit when he's rifle shuffling the deck. This video wouldn't be possible without the help from my sponsors, Cool Stuff Inc., Multizone, Original Magic Art, and Alter Sleeves. But it definitely wouldn't be possible without the help from you, the viewers, and my patrons. So I just want to say thank you for watching, and to remember, friends are just opponents you haven't eliminated yet.